West Tigers fans, I want to go deeper today because this isn't just about a contract extension for our head coach or a new CEO, but this is about the actual football side of things and how the style, the identity, and the blueprint is going to be so elite, and why Benji Marshall being locked in until 2030 is one of the biggest pieces of football strategy I think this club has put in place and together in a lot of years. Welcome back to NRL Deep Dive, your daily West Tigers talk. My name is Geordie. I'm a diehard Tigers fan who is originally in the United States, but back in the beautiful homeland for the next week or so. If you love the Tigers as much as I do, smash that like and subscribe button and share your thoughts in the comments below. What is your favorite Benji moment? Mine is definitely 05 in his flick pass. So when you strip away all of the drama that has come from this past week, few weeks, whatever, the boardroom issues, the CEO stepping down, the external noise, whatever actually went down, and what actually matters is the football DNA that we are building. And on this channel, I've been very Benji oriented. I've been a big fan of Benji, and his style is very specific, and he has a very specific system, and I think that is the most exciting part about how this is all going to perfectly fit and match the players that we have recruited, and in 2025 and 2026 the players we do have. So let's start with Benji's playing philosophy. People forget how intelligent he actually is as a player, but also as a coach, because they used to remember him as a flashy player, but as a coach he's all about structure first, freedom second, family second. He wants organized chaos, essentially, is the way I see him. He wants the system to create space, then he wants his ball players to improve inside that structure, if that makes sense. It's the modern Penrith style mixed with the old school Kiwi intuition, and that's why the recruitment, I think, suddenly makes sense out of all of this. Think about Jarome Luai, for example. The entire NRL world spent years and years saying Luai is only good because of Nathan Cleary. No freaking way. What Luai needed was a coach who understood and understands his instinctive football style, and that's exactly who Benji Marshall is, right? Luai thrives when there's shape around him, when he has the opportunity to lead, and he's been given a license to play that eyes up style, and very predictable and very unpredictable, if that makes sense. Unpredictably unpredictable. So if you know anything about Benji's style and coaching vision, that's literally the same thing. That's the core of his playbook. It's a structured platform, if you will, with freedom layered on top. And that's why I think targeting Luai and keeping Luai, personally, he didn't want to do anything else but be a halfback for us right now. And so he didn't really want to be a robot either in that halfback's position. He wanted to be that playmaking artist who could elevate the edges, bring tempo, bring flair, leadership, play on feel. And I believe he genuinely does that each and every week. And we're going to see that as a big thing in 2026. Then you're adding people like the May brothers, for example. This is where things, I think, get even more interesting and even more perfect. Taylor May is pure strike, pure talent. He is one of those center wingers that is explosive, instinctive, powerful, but he also thrives when he has a playmaker that feeds him early ball and keeps him kind of running and keeps him going, keeps the tempo, the pace, and keeps defenses guessing. Benji's system, I think, lives under this width, this tempo, this shift, the quick shifts off second face plays. Taylor thrives in that exact environment. And honestly, Jarome is the exact prototype of the modern ball playing middle Benji wants in his forwards, right? Tipping on, winning rocks, keeping the line moving, creating these like three-man decisions for defenders instead of one, right? Like Terrell is Taylor made for that position, and I truly believe he is part of our bigger picture and part of our plan. Talking about bigger picture and plans, there's Jahream Bula. This is the guy that has, been the talk of the town, the biggest piece of the whole puzzle. I truly believe with Benji staying, we'll see Jahream staying. He is a fullback that we need, and a fullback like Bula honestly needs a system that rewards intelligence, supports his support play and growth, and gives him permission to attack the defensive line whenever he sees an opportunity, right? Benji style, especially with a more mature spine around Bula this year, is built for a roaming playmaking fullback, and he is the guy. We even signed Jack Attard because he's similar in that aspect as well. Bula stuck out. He doesn't want to be stuck out in the back waiting for structured plays, right? He wants him to be drifting, creating these mismatches, taking off around the ruck, and then pushing up on offloads and becoming a second 5'8" in good ball territory. Honestly, what I think. That's what Jahream Bula naturally is, and I'd see him being a future 5'8" or halfback in the future, or even a center or wing. And then you zoom out and look at all those pieces together. A creative 5'8" like Luai, strike centers like Talon, an absolute mobile offloading pack led by Terrell, a generational fullback in Bula. That's not freedom. That's not luck. That is like us purely coming off strategic moves, right? Like, that is strategy. That is not random. That's not luck. That is recruitment with a very, very specific football philosophy behind it. And that's why I keep saying Benji wasn't just building a roster. He's been building a system and a culture. And today's news that, dropped that he's locked in until 2030 means that the system actually gets the time it needs to mature, and 2026 is not out of the picture. And this is why I'm still so positive about 2026 and have been through all this chaos, because stability isn't the headline, right? Stability is the advantage. If you remove Benji, you don't just lose a coach, you lose the blueprint these players were signed for, you lose the identity the teams have trained around, you lose the style of play that perfectly suits Luai, Bula, and the May brothers, the Fayanu brothers, just the whole next generation, honestly. That's why these players were reacting the way that they did this past couple weeks, and they weren't panicking. They were saying, hey, we stand with Benji. We don't want to be part of this drama. They weren't panicking because they knew the system that Benji believed in and was building was, never under threat, and Benji knew that. Benji knew that, hey, this club was such a big part of my life in my footy days, and I'm going to make it a big part of theirs, and, in my coaching career. This is why today the club stepped up and said, hey, we don't want change in our coaching. Whatever Benji's doing, he's doing right. And personally, I think Richo was a huge part of that. But Benji's going to keep that torch going. He's going to carry that flame. The identity hasn't changed, Tigers fans. We are sticking with the plan. There's a little hiccup in the road, and that's what matters. It matters more than people realize and give credit for, because once you understand the football logic behind keeping Benji around long term, everything else suddenly makes sense. You don't recruit Luai unless you're committing to a particular style. You don't chase the May brothers unless you are building an edge-focused, tempo-heavy attack. You don't hand the keys to Bula unless you trust your fullback to be a playmaker and kind of that 5'8" style that we need. All of that starts with the coach, and now the coach is locked in for the next 5 years. So when I truly say trust Benji, trust the process, I mean it. I truly mean that. The football philosophy is clear. The recruitment fits it perfectly. And honestly, the players believe in it. And after everything that's gone on, the club has doubled down on that direction. And instead of running from it, they've embraced it. We are not lost, Tigers fans. We are not spiraling. We are not broken. We are stabilising. We are aligning, and we are building a bigger and better football identity within the West Tigers that suits the roster that we've assembled, that we've been building. And that's why I truly believe 2026 is still alive. It's still our big year that we're making top 8, and we are in the rebuild, and everything is still intact. That's why I've been so positive through all of this, because today wasn't just good news about the club and about Benji. It was proof that the football plan survived the chaos, and that speaks bigger than anything. Benji is still the coach. The players are still united. The system is still in place. So, Tigers fans, if you are so stoked about Benji being in for the next 5 years, let me know in the comments below. And again, let me know your favorite Benji moment and what game you're looking forward to next year to see Benji's plan come to fruition. So, remember, trust Benji, trust the process, and then we move forward. I promise you that if we can do all three of those things, man, it is going to be a dangerous year for the Tigers. Bloody good day to be a Tigers fan, baby. Tell them, mate, you love them, and I'll see you in the next video.